What's up, guys? How are you? It is time for a Thursday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt. To follow me across all socials, and this podcast is being brought to you by omahasteaks.com. The URL is omahasteaks.com/juice. A couple of you guys showed me your receipts from using it over the last couple of days. Thanks to last week's heater, you guys were able to go buy a couple of Omaha Steaks packages. Very cool. And one of you has popped in. I saw the receipt for a subscription service that you signed up for at omahasteaks.com. That's free burgers for life for going in there and jumping in with the subscription service through omahasteaks.com/juice. Go check that out right now. Good stuff with omahasteaks.com/juice. All right. The night that I warned was coming arrived. So 1-2 is so much better than 0-3. It is dramatically, besides the math, just from a mental standpoint, just to get one right, and like, all right, fine. Got Auburn and South Carolina way wrong. Man, 3 ranked teams played last night. All 3 monster victories, huge blowout wins. South Carolina got killed. Penn State got beat up pretty bad at home by Michigan State. They lost by 8. We laid 4. And then St. Joe's fouled with 0.1 to go. I didn't see it. I was following it on the apps. It went final 3. I thought we were good. And then no free throws with 0.1 to go. And we lose by 5. Just a brutal way to lose. And that's just bad luck. But you know what? We've had a lot of good luck here over the last week. So we go from up 3 units after Monday to now being down 1.1 units, or more than that, actually 1.6 units, being down on the week. So it goes quick, man. It flips on you fast. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause on college basketball today. Okay. We'll just take a breather, take a break from college hoops. I've not bet hockey in a while. Let's start to ramp up the hockey again. Hockey has not been great. Okay. Let's start to, see if we can make a dent into the unfortunate deficit that I've put ourselves in here for the NHL, because I do really like betting hockey. I like betting hockey way more than I like betting on the NBA. So far in the NHL, we are 6-7 with down 1.2 units, which is way better than the 2-12 mark in the NBA that I've got. So we're going to try a full day of betting on hockey. Will that be smart? I don't know. We'll find out whether that's intelligent or not. But I have another sportsbook offer for you guys who are in a state that is legal to bet 365. Bet 365. It's bettingpros.com/365. bettingpros.com/365. A $5 bet will get you $150 in free bets. Sign up. Make a deposit of $10 or more, and you claim this offer. To activate your bonus bet, place qualifying bets of value of $5 from your deposited funds. $150 in bonus bets will be added to your bonus bets balance. Once your bet is settled, you'll receive $150 in bonus bets to use on any event of your choice. To use the bonus bets, simply select Use Bonus Bets in the bet slip. Go to bettingpros.com/365 to claim this offer. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets with Bet365. Go and check if Bet365 is legal in the state that you reside. Okay, let's talk bit here. Some hockey. Good slate in hockey. Big slate. Let's start talking about Dallas and Nashville. Now, I've told you about this guy before, and I think it's intelligent, smart, and wise for you to go and follow at PSUOTTO, PSU Auto. Friend of my other show, friend of this show, is a guy who does amazing work with data. I'm a trend better, okay? I tend to bet trends. And so I look at trends. They don't always cash, but I feel more confident looking at the numbers, looking at trends, and then trying to find a way to a bet, okay? That's what I did tonight for Nashville and Dallas. The total in the first period is 1.5. It is even money. When you go to PSU Auto's account, his Twitter account, at PSU Auto, and you take a look at what he has up pinned to the top of his account, you will see a couple of very interesting numbers when you pull up Nashville and Dallas. First of which, in the first period for Dallas 4-6, first period, over 1.5 goals, 6-4 to the under. Gets even better, though, when you talk about Nashville, who currently 2 out of the last 10 games have seen a first period over 1.5 goals, just 20%. You go and look at the goalie matchups, it's going to be Saros in net, who has been very consistent here for Nashville. He's better at home than he is on the road, but you got Ottinger, and Jake Ottinger's much better on the road than he is at home. 2.55 goals against average for Jake Ottinger. These teams met one time in Nashville, 3-2 win, under for the game, under 6.5. In Dallas, 4-3, 6-3. Both wins for the Preds. Both games went over. As we know, Dallas is a very consistent over team at home. On the road, they're an under team. This game is on the road. You can bet under 6.5 minus 120. I will. I'll play this game under. But officially, I'm going to go first period and ride the trend here with Saros and Ottinger and hope for a very slow start. Hope for both goaltenders to stand on their head and get even money on this. It's even money. First period under 1.5 goals, Dallas and Nashville. This is fun because I think if you want to take like a big, long look at what's going on, you know what? I'm actually going to make a college basketball play. I kind of corrected myself. I had one that I wasn't going to make, but I only have 2 hockey plays. So because I'm not going to make, I was going to make 2 bets in one game and give you officially the 6.5 and the first period under, but I don't like doing that because when I do that, you're putting too much on one game, and if I'm wrong, we blow the whole day. So I don't want to do that. So we're not going to do that. So the only official play is under 1.5 goals, even money for Dallas and Nashville. Second bet for us here in the NHL is almost like I'm not going to think too much about it. The Avalanche are taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yes, I know who's in net. Okay, I totally understand. We're talking about 2 very good goaltenders. Vasilevsky's been playing very well for Tampa, very well. And you have Georgiev, who's been consistently great for the Colorado Avalanche. But if you want to look at just the way things have gone here, and you want to look at just in terms of how these totals have gone for the Avalanche and for Tampa, at home, a lot of offense. On the road, a lot of offense. I mean, just in terms of where these teams are offensively, just both on the road and at home, 32-21-1, Colorado to the over. They are the number 1 over team now in the NHL. Tampa Bay is not that much farther, although they are an under team, 26-24-4 to the under. When you kind of slide it out over the last 10, 7-3 over the last 10 games for the Avalanche have gone over. For Tampa Bay, 5-5. You switch it up to go home and say, all right, where are these guys at home? Tampa is 6-3-1 to the over at home. Colorado on the road. Colorado has been a team that you can feel pretty good about jumping in saying they're going to go over. They're 8-2. Right now, over the last 10 games, they're the number 1 team right now to the over, 8-2. Yes, I know both goaltenders are there. Yes, I know minus 130 is expensive, but I'm going to bet the over. Avs and Tampa, minus 130. 1.3 units, over 6.5. This game probably goes to 7, would be my gut that this game's going to go to 7, but maybe not. Maybe it'll stay at 6.5. But let's go 4-3, 5-2 final here between Tampa Bay and Colorado. Minus 130, 1.3 units, over 6.5 for Colorado and Tampa. So under first period, under 1.5 goals, even money, Dallas, Nashville, and over 6.5 for the game for the Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, there's only one game in college basketball that I was staring at that I actually really liked and I want to bet. When I get cold in college basketball, it's because of the numbers. Look at last night. The numbers are really sharp. The books are starting to get their numbers right. Excuse me. They're starting to really get to where they need to be from a numbers perspective. And that's because of the data. The more data we see, the more games played, the books will be, excuse me. Sorry, clear my throat, get a drink. The books are going to be very much inclined to have numbers that are going to be like, all right, where do we find angles? Let's talk about Vermont hosting New Hampshire. Now, I covered UNH for a while. I watched a lot of games in Burlington. Vermont is really, really hard to play against at home. And consistently, Vermont is just one of these teams where they consistently win and they consistently take care of business. This year has been really, really weird. And I mean like really, really weird. Vermont this year is 2-7 at home, ATS. UNH is 10-3 on the road, ATS. This is sort of just like a feel play for me, okay? This is because I've watched this enough, and when you see a number pop up like this, and you're like, wait a minute, all these numbers, it's kind of like last night a little bit with Auburn. And you're like, how is Auburn, and I thought that, I was like, how is Auburn laying 11.5 points? What, they win by 50? Like game was never close. This has been somewhat of a house of horrors for UNH, okay? If you don't know geography, New Hampshire and Vermont are next to each other. A lot of times these kids are being recruited by both New Hampshire and by Vermont. Vermont just gets the better kids. When the number pops at 8, I go, wow. Especially given the fact that New Hampshire is, they're 1-4 in their last 5, however, ATS, but they are 10-3 10-3 on the road. But they've been struggling, okay? At home against Binghamton, laying 8.5, they won by 6. Against Albany, laying 4.5, they lost by 7. They covered on the road as 9-point dogs, winning by 16 against UMass Lowell. Against Bryant, they were catching 6 points on the road, lost by 19. Against Maine, they were laying 4, they won by 3. Vermont had a stretch of 5 straight games where they won and they covered. Last 3 games, they have won 2 of the 3, but have not covered on any of them. But they've been big numbers. 12.5, won by 2 on the road against Maryland, Baltimore County. Laying 14, they lost by 2 to New Jersey Institute of Technology. That's a game you can't lose. Binghamton, they're laying 15, they won by 13. The only game Vermont has lost so far in 2024 was that road game 2 games ago against NJIT. So the numbers have been big for Vermont. So the numbers come down a little bit. The number is 8. Now, my gut tells me this number is going to climb a little bit, and you may get 8.5. I don't hate a play on 8.5, but I really wouldn't go much higher. I don't love 9. Don't like 9.5. I would definitely keep this at 8 if you can, just because I don't want to get into 3 possessions and 3 threes. It just you need such like a monster victory, a huge blowout in order to cover that big of a number. So I don't want it to go there. So 8 or 8.5. You guys always tend to ask me on the Discord channel, like, oh, yeah, I didn't get 8. Can I get 8.5? Or I didn't get 8.5. Can I get 9? That's where I would be a little bit concerned. 8.5 would be my stop sign. 9 would be like, okay, no, we're not going to play it if it races that high. But I got 8. And I think 8 is good enough. I think they win by 9 or by 10 here up against New Hampshire. And I'm really pretty excited to watch this game because, look, these are games, by the way, sometimes these games can be found in the extra category. So just so you know, number opened up at 9, by the way. So it's down to 8, back and forth to 8.5. So you may actually get 7.5. You might get a better number than me in the morning. But that may be because of New Hampshire's numbers with where New Hampshire is. It may pop up and say, okay, so New Hampshire is 10-3. So people are going to say, all right, go ahead and bet the dog here. But home teams in college basketball, it's been really difficult to win on the road. A lot of blowouts. KenPom has this as a 9-point win. So we've got an 8 number. I'm going to lay it with Vermont. Vermont -8 up against New Hampshire tonight. Going to go to the America East Conference a little bit, but that's the only college basketball play on the night is Vermont -8. All right. First period under 1.5 goals. Dallas, Nashville, even money, 1 unit. Over 6.5 goals. Avs, Tampa Bay, -130. Lay a little extra juice because we're only playing even money on the first bet. And then Vermont -8 for 1.1 units with a -110 number there in America East. Okay. 3-0, 1-2, 0-3. Let's bounce back here. Let's have a winning week. Still very much in our target range. Let's have some fun here as we head towards the weekend. A weekend without football. Oh, my. Little Daytona, little golf. Got to find other things to bet. Spring training opening up. We won't bet spring training games for a while, but we'll see what ends up happening with other things we're going to bet here because we're out of football season, which is a bummer. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. Daily Juice Podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.